Imagine hitting record, thinking it's just another video, never knowing it would be your last. YouTube is where we share everything. Our wins, our fails, and sometimes our biggest mistakes. And for a few YouTubers, those mistakes turned into their demise, all caught on camera without them even knowing. And the scarier part, some were determined to film the next big content for their channels before things went out of hand. These aren't just crazy rumors. They actually happened. Starting with Albert Derland. Albert Derland was a Danish YouTuber, musician, and social media influencer known for his comedic sketches, music videos, and vlogs. Born on October 10, 1998, Derland started his YouTube career in February 2016, where his fun and energetic personality quickly made him a fan favorite. By July 2021, he had amassed over 171,000 YouTube subscribers and more than 233,000 Instagram followers. Aside from YouTube, Derland was also a musician. He released several songs, including Emoji, Waffles, and the recently released Summer, which gained popularity among his fans. His music videos were playful and full of humor, making them widely shared in Denmark. He also starred in the 2018 Danish comedy film Team Albert, which follows a teenager trying to become a YouTube star in just one day. The film was well received and even won the Blockbuster Audience Award in the 2019 Danish Film Awards. However, Derland's promising career came to a tragic end on July 28, 2021, at the age of 22. While filming content for his social media, he fell to his death from Mount Cicada in Val Gardena, Italy. Reports stated that he accidentally lost his footing while shooting a video and fell approximately 656 feet down a steep mountainside. Authorities quickly responded, sending a rescue helicopter to the scene in an attempt to save him. Despite their efforts, he was pronounced dead on the spot. His mother, Vibjorga Jensen, later confirmed the heartbreaking news to the Danish news outlet TV2, asking for privacy during their time of mourning. The news of Derland's sudden passing shocked fans and fellow YouTubers worldwide. Many took to social media to express their grief. Danish YouTuber Rasmus Brohov tweeted, "I'm completely out of it. I am ready to cry and empty of words." Another popular Danish YouTuber, Johnny God, made a tribute video called "Rest in Peace, Albert Derland," reflecting on Derland's impact on the online community. His last Instagram post became a memorial site, with thousands of fans commenting their grief. Among them, Oscar Hall wrote, "Rest in peace, brother. You will be missed." Many fans also expressed their sorrow and shared memories of Derland's funniest and most iconic moments. Tor Eckhoff, Ape Tor. Tor Eckhoff, better known as Ape Tor, wasn't just a YouTuber. He was a daredevil, an adventurer, and a man who truly lived life on the edge. For over a decade, he entertained millions by skating across frozen lakes, plunging into ice-cold waters, and taking vodka shots in the snow, all with a fearless grin on his face. His wild stunts and carefree personality earned him over 1.2 million subscribers, making him one of Norway's most legendary content creators. But on November 26, 2021, just one day after celebrating his 57th birthday, Ape Tor went out onto a frozen lake near Kongsberg, Norway, filming yet another daring video. He had done this countless times before, walking on thin ice, pushing the limits, laughing in the face of danger. But this time, something went horribly wrong. The ice beneath him was weaker than expected, likely due to recent temperature changes. As he moved across the surface, small cracks began to spread beneath his feet. But before he could react, the ice gave way. He plunged into the freezing water, instantly submerged under the broken ice. The shock of the icy water can cause muscle paralysis in seconds, making it nearly impossible to swim. Trapped beneath the jagged ice, he struggled to find an opening. The more he fought against the freezing cold, the weaker his body became. Nearby witnesses saw the accident and immediately called emergency services. A rescue team rushed to the scene, carefully breaking more ice to reach him. They pulled him out of the water and rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. His body had already suffered the deadly effects of hypothermia. Tor did not survive. His longtime partner, Tolskirven, confirmed the heartbreaking news, and social media exploded with tributes. Fellow YouTubers and devoted fans flooded his final Instagram and YouTube posts, grieving the loss of a man who had brought so much joy, laughter, and inspiration. His last YouTube video, titled "I Am Not Dead," "I'm 57 today," suddenly felt haunting, almost like he had unknowingly said goodbye. Jacob Cockle. Jacob Cockle was a thrill-seeker, an adventurer, a man obsessed with capturing the wildest, most dangerous moments on camera. For years, he filmed massive waves, deadly currents, and underwater chaos, always pushing the limits to get the perfect shot. But on May 28, 2013, his obsession turned fatal. That day, Jacob was at Haley Harbor in Cornwall, England, filming a powerful whirlpool, a swirling vortex created by shifting tides. He had filmed this phenomenon before. He had even jumped into whirlpools before, but this time, he was playing with fire. Standing beside him was a friend who had been filming him all day.
That's it, good. Good. Yeah.
They had already captured stunning footage, and his friend told him, "That's enough. We've got what we need." But Jacob wasn't satisfied. He wanted one more shot. Ignoring the warning, he moved closer. Too close. And then it happened. The whirlpool sucked him under in an instant. 1 second he was standing at the edge, the next he was trapped beneath the spinning water, dragged deeper and deeper. He tried to fight it, but whirlpools don't let go easily. They disorient you, steal your air, crush your strength. His camera, strapped to him, kept recording as he struggled. His friend watched in horror. Onlookers screamed. Some called emergency services. Coast guards, paramedics, and police officers rushed to the scene. Divers jumped in, breaking through the powerful current, desperately searching for him. Minutes passed. Too many minutes. When they finally pulled Jacob out, he was lifeless. They performed CPR on the scene, then rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. At just 28 years old, Jacob Cockle was gone. The news sent shockwaves through the extreme sports and filmmaking communities. His mother, Lisa Cockle, later spoke about his deep connection to water, how he had always been drawn to his power. His final Instagram and YouTube posts became memorials, flooded with messages from fans and fellow creators. Jacob's YouTube channel remains frozen in time, filled with breathtaking, daring, and now haunting videos. But his last recording, it captured more than just a whirlpool. It captured the moment when adventure becomes tragedy. Some called him fearless, others called him reckless. But one thing is clear. Jacob Cockle risked everything for the shot. And this time, the shot won. Storm Debut. Storm Debut was born for adventure. At just 24 years old, the young Belgian had already built a name for himself in the world of survival challenges, outdoor exploration, and YouTube content creation. With a fearless spirit and a passion for storytelling, he documented his daring solo journeys into some of the world's most remote landscapes, inspiring thousands to embrace the wild. But nature, as breathtaking as it is, holds a deadly power, a truth that would become tragically clear in October 2023. Storm's latest challenges took him deep into Swedish Lapland, a vast, unforgiving expanse of snow-covered forests, frozen lakes, and rugged mountains. With only a lightweight tent, a sleeping bag, minimal rations, and his camera equipment, he set out to traverse the Jokkmokk region, relying solely on his survival skills. He regularly updated his family and followers, sharing both the beauty and challenges of his journey. But as his adventure neared its end, the weather turned. On October 29th, what had started as a calm, clear day rapidly transformed into a merciless Arctic snowstorm. The wind howled through the trees and snow fell heavily, turning the serene wilderness into a deadly trap. Recognizing the danger, Storm pitched his tent into a sheltered forest area, building a snow barrier to shield himself. He sent one last reassuring text to his grandmother. "It's snowing heavily here, but don't worry, I'll survive." By nightfall, the storm intensified. Winds exceeding 100 kilometers, 60 miles per hour, battered his tent, and temperatures plummeted to -8 Celsius, 0 Fahrenheit, with wind chill. Snow piled up around his shelter, and at some point, the weight or force of the wind caused the tent to collapse. Storm, now exposed to the elements, had no choice but to leave his fragile shelter and battle the blizzard head-on. Disoriented by the whiteout, the biting wind stinging his face, and hypothermia setting in, Storm struggled to find his way back. The cold rapidly drained his strength. Evidence suggests he fell, breaking his nose upon impact. His body temperature plummeted, his movement slowed, his mind clouded by confusion. Alone in the snow, surrounded by the howling wind, Storm Debuel's life slipped away. The next day, when Storm failed to check in, his family alerted authorities. A search team located his partially buried campsite and, not far from it, his frozen body. His story is tragic and reminds us that even the most skilled adventurers are at the mercy of the wild. Nature is as deadly as it is beautiful, demanding caution and respect. Paul Harrell. Paul Harrell, a respected firearms expert and teacher, was a remarkable person. Born in 1996, Harrell's life was characterized by service and compassion. A veteran of both the U.S. Army and Marine Corps, he later transitioned to sharing his extensive knowledge of firearms through his YouTube channel. Over the years, he amassed over 1.2 million subscribers, drawn to his meticulous reviews, safety tutorials, and insightful commentary on gun rights. In July 2023, Harrell faced a formidable adversary, pancreatic cancer. Initially diagnosed at stage 2, he remained hopeful, believing it was caught early. He shared his journey openly with his audience, maintaining transparency about his health challenges. However, the disease progressed aggressively, spreading to his bones and leading to significant health complications, including a fractured hip. Despite these hardships, Harrell's commitment to his viewers never wavered. On December 20th, 2023, anticipating the inevitable, Harrell recorded a heartfelt video titled, "I'm Dead." In this 6-minute message, he addressed his audience with characteristic candor. "I'm recording this and giving Brad instructions to publish it upon my death, so if you're watching me, I'm dead." He expressed gratitude for the support he had received and apologized for not being able to continue his work, stating, "My sincere apologies. I had hoped that I would continue in this format for the next 10 or even 15 years. Harrell's brother Roy appeared in the video, confirming his passing and pledging to uphold his legacy. He stated, "It was his wish that I maintain his legacy through this channel." This commitment underscored the deep bond they shared and the importance of continuing the educational mission Harrell had embarked upon. The firearms community and his vast audience were profoundly impacted by his death. Tributes poured in, celebrating not just his expertise, but also his humility and integrity. Fellow YouTuber Tom Grieve lauded Harrell as a role model and a man of integrity, reflecting the widespread respect he commanded. Grant Thompson, the king of random. Grant Thompson wasn't just a YouTuber. He was a visionary, a man who saw the world as one giant experiment waiting to unfold. Born in Canada on November 21, 1980, Grant had an insatiable curiosity from a young age. He took apart radios, built contraptions in his garage, and never stopped exploring. After high school, he became an airline pilot, then found success in real estate. But his true passion was tinkering, leading him to YouTube and the creation of The King of Random, where he captivated millions with DIY science and life hacks. On July 29, 2019, Grant set out on what should have been a routine paramotoring flight over the Utah desert. He had only been involved in the sport for 5 months, but his daring nature pushed him to master it quickly. That afternoon, the conditions seemed stable. Temperatures near 100 Fahrenheit, light winds, and a clear sky. But the desert air is unpredictable, and danger lurks where it's least expected. As he soared above the rugged terrain of Sand Hollow State Park, a sudden thermal updraft sent his paraglider lurching upwards. The sky, once his playground, had turned against him. Before he could adjust, an equally fierce downdraft followed, violently collapsing his canopy. In those critical seconds, Grant reacted fast. He deployed his reserve parachute, but at a low altitude of just about 100 feet, there wasn't enough time. The chute barely had a chance to inflate before he plummeted to the rocky ground below. When Grant failed to check in, concern grew. His phone's GPS provided a signal launching an urgent search by authorities. A helicopter crew finally spotted his body in the remote desert, lifeless upon impact. He had never regained consciousness. A recording device retrieved from the crash site held his final moments, an eerie, silent witness to the tragedy. Investigators reviewed the footage, piecing together what happened. The unpredictable nature of desert thermals, the sudden shift in wind, factors that even experienced pilots struggle with, had sealed his fate. The news sent shockwaves through the YouTube community. Fans mourned, tributes flooded in, and those he inspired grappled with the loss of a man whose curiosity had ignited millions of minds. Grant Thompson was more than the king of random. He was a dreamer, a risk-taker, an explorer of the unknown. His adventures ended too soon, but his legacy, that will never fall from the sky.